So once you've reached level 20 and you've unlocked all of your stratagems and you have most of the weapons you want from your war bonds, one of the things you can grind for is your samples for your ship module upgrades. So today we're going to go through the ship module upgrades and figure out which ones you're going to want to unlock first. It is quite the grind to get these. As you can see, I haven't unlocked all of them, but it is pretty clear what they do. So anyways, starting off with the donation access license, support weapons deploy with maximum number of carryable magazines. For example, if you have the railgun, instead of deploying with 10, it will deploy with 20. Pretty nice upgrade, definitely get it, and it's pretty cheap also. I think it's only like 80 of the common samples, which are pretty easy to get. Next we get decreased support weapon stratagem cooldown by 10%. Honestly, not really worth it, isn't that good unless you're going for hand carts, which decreases the cooldown for all backpack stratagems by 10%. Also not that good, so I wouldn't get these two at the beginning. I'd go for other things. Next we have exploding shrapnel. It reduces the damage fall off from the center of explosions caused by orbital stratagems. So I do have this upgrade, and it's like okay, but honestly it doesn't seem very good. I definitely wouldn't get it unless you have common ones to spare. Then we got more guns. Barrage orbitals fire 1 additional salvo per barrage. This is pretty good actually. Definitely if you have the stuff to spare, get it, but I would get this later on when you're just trying to max out everything. I should have everything maxed out by the end of the weekend. I've been starting to grind for my samples just because I've been, going for requisition slips and medals and XP, but I'm going to start going for samples soon as well. Next, we have orbital stratagem cooldown time reduced by 10%. This is quite good. Again, pretty expensive though. It probably will cost like 10 super samples as well. Then we have liquid ventilated cockpit eagle stratagem cooldown time reduced by 50%. So this is something specific about Eagle though. Eagle has two different cooldowns. One is the 15 seconds that it takes between when you can run an Eagle air or Eagle strike of any kind, and then there's the whole cooldown where the Eagle has to go rearm and reset with all of its different things that it can have. So what this one does is it reduces the time from 15 seconds to 8 seconds between when you can do an airstrike or whatever, which is actually insane. I mean, it's really makes a big difference, and you can just call in stuff much faster. So I'd say this is like probably, honestly, it's the best upgrade you can get early on, I think. It's really, really strong. And then these get even better. So this reduces the Eagle rearm time by 20%, which is also really, really good. The Eagle rearm time, I think, is like 2 minutes something. So 20% of 2 minutes is quite a bit. And then finally, we get the expanded weapons bay, where it increases the number of Eagle stratagem uses per rearm by 1. So what that means is, between each rearm, these all have sets amounts of how many you get. So like the cluster bomb gets 4, I think. The strafing run gets like 2. The Eagle airstrike gets 2. And the 500 kilogram bomb gets 1. So the 500 kilogram bomb, instead of getting 1, will get 2 uses per rearm, etc. And the rearm is the 2-minute window where you have to, this rearm. So anyways, really, really good upgrade. I'm going to get this as soon as I get the rare samples for it. Next, we get targeting software upgrade. It reduces the deployment time for orbital stratagems by 1 second. It's a pretty decent upgrade. It's not like great, but if you have the commons, go for it. Then we have nuclear radar. It increases enemy ping radius on minimap by 50 meters. So what this means is if you have armor, or maybe even if you don't, you can like ping on the minimap by holding down tab and then like left clicking on it. And basically this will ping and show you where the enemies are. It is really cool. I think that's a cool upgrade. It has sort of niche uses, especially like maybe if you're running a stealth mission, this would be really helpful. But if you think about it, a radius, like the area of a circle is radius squared. So it actually does make a pretty big difference on how big the area of that circle would be. So then we got power steering. This is something I definitely want to go for soon. It improves the steering for Helldivers during Hellpod deployment. This seems like an amazing upgrade because it should, theoretically, I don't know how quite good it is. I will report once I've unlocked all of them on it, like how good the different ones are. But this will allow you to steer your Hellpod when you're getting reinforcements into like Bile Titans, into Chargers, into the big mechs, etc. So this should be extremely helpful, really, really important upgrade. And I will definitely be going for that after I get the Eagle upgrade, the expanded weapons bay upgrade. So moving on to our engineering bay, we got the synthetic supplementation. It reduces the cooldown time for sentry, emplacement, and resupply stratagems by 10%. Again, pretty good upgrade. Not like crazy good, but decent. We got advanced construction, which increases the health of sentry stratagems by 50%. this is pretty good. However, Sentry Stratagems don't really have much health to begin with. A lot of enemies can just like one-shot them, so increasing their health by 50% isn't really going to do much, and it's relatively expensive. It costs like 5 super samples, 60 of those, so I wouldn't go for this anytime. And honestly, the one that comes after it isn't even that good either. It removes deployment time for emplacement stratagems, but it's like, I mean, it's pretty mid, honestly. It's just not that good of an upgrade, and it's not turrets either as emplacements. So honestly, I would not go down these two. Those will probably be like the last upgrades I get, honestly. So then we got dynamic tracking, which reduces deployment time for all sentry stratagems. This is actually pretty good. It can be really nice if you're like running away or stuff to get your sentries down faster. So, and it's pretty cheap as well. Then we got the shock absorption gel, increases ammo for all sentry stratagems by 50%. This one's really good. A lot of times you can have a mortar that is lasting forever, but I'm pretty sure the reason it goes away is it runs out of ammo, and they already have a bunch of ammo to begin with, so if you increase their ammo by 50%, that should make a huge difference. Also with like the sentry, the machine gun Gatling, and the rocket sentry, stuff like that, it just allows you to have so many more shots. So this is a really good upgrade, definitely going to go for it. And then the last one with the high quality lubricant also makes the turrets even better. Sentries rotate towards new targets more quickly. This would be really important for like the auto cannon sentry and the rocket sentry, which both don't rotate very fast. The mortar sentry doesn't need to rotate, so it doesn't really matter for that. And the Gatling and like the machine gun both rotate pretty fast, but the auto cannon sentry moves like a freaking snail. So this one, definitely really good upgrade. I would definitely go for that maybe after the power steering. So I think like in order of what I think is most important when you're going for upgrades, I would upgrade your Eagle first, just because I think the Eagle airstrikes and all that, it's some of the best upgrades, and it's some of the best stratagems as well. It just really is. You know, I haven't actually noticed, but I wonder if it actually like makes it look cooler when you upgrade it. I would assume it does, because I have this upgrade, and if we go look at my Eagle, someone's trying to upgrade, it does look like it upgrades as you, like the area upgrades as you upgrade it, which is pretty cool. But anyways, so we go over here. So I would go down those first, and then after that I would go down for the power steering, so that you can kill chargers and stuff a lot easier with your hell pods. And then finally I'd go down the Robotics Workshop tree, and you know, from there you could choose to do whatever you want. It's really not that important. I'd probably go like for Orbital Cannons next, then those as well. So a way to get samples pretty quickly is basically you do need super samples, and those have like a very specific place that they spawn near. But basically you're not going to want to do it on Helldive. There's no point. You don't get more samples from what I've heard, at least. So I would grind them on Suicide Mission, because one down you don't get the super samples, but grind it on Suicide Mission. Find the missions that are relatively easy. So like Eradication, you're not only going to get commons, but if you find one that is not Emergency Evacuation, what you're going to want to look for is, where is it? Usually they're like blitz missions. Maybe it's more on the yeah, it's probably more like I would do Terminids, not automatons. Also, that's something to note, I guess. So if we go to Terminids, there should be the blitz missions. Yeah, search and destroy, where you just have to seal bug holes. If you go with a group of 4, you just hit all of the bug holes and hit all of the points of interest, you can be grinding up your samples extremely quickly and very easy. So anyways, those are my thoughts on the upgrades and how to get samples. I hope y'all enjoyed. Feel free to connect with me with the links in the description below, and thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see you next time.